Hey guys, Laura coming to you actually from my home in Louisville, Kentucky, but I am joined on the phone by Grammy winning Queen of Bluegrass, not to mention the newest member of the Grand Ole Opry, Miss Rhonda Vincent. How are you?
Oh, I am just still on cloud nine. I love it when you say that.
Ha-
I am very excited to be invited to be a member of the Grand Ole Opry, my lifelong dream.
Yeah, that is it. It was amazing to watch. I want to get into all the good stuff. Let me back up for just a couple of minutes. I want to ask you, we were just talking a few minutes ago before recording about you all living on the lake and were you all okay from the tornadoes and the devastation that happened last week?
Do you know we left at midnight on the night of the tornadoes,
Oh
and
wow.
we were about to turn right, which would have been right in the middle of it. And my bass player, all of a sudden, we were sitting at the stop sign, and he said, "I think we should take a left." I think he had like seen the weather. And he
Uh-huh.
said, I think we should take a left. And we went left and went all the way around to the southern side of Nashville, and all on the other side to be 40 because we were headed out to
Wow.
out west to Las Vegas and Arizona and California. Otherwise, we would have been right in the middle of it.
Oh
I mean, I'm saying
wow.
just moments before it just happened. In fact, here it is. It became one in the morning, and I called my daughter who lives in Hermitage, and they were safe. But so many people that we know are affected, and all around we have a place there in Nashville. So very thankful that we're okay, and continue to pray for all of those. So many affected there.
Absolutely. And we have of course we have a lot of friends down there too, and it was just I woke up in the morning and I had several texts going, check on your friends. And but yes, that's one of those I call them God moments. Um
Absolutely.
when you just have that feeling of you need to go left regardless of if
Yeah.
it you just kind of have to go.
The
Well,
rationale would tell you, yeah, why
yeah.
would we go all of the way? But it's like, I think we better should go left. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad.
Very, very thankful. God guided us out of that.
Yeah, I'm very, very glad to hear that. I'm so glad that everyone's okay. Um, so let's get back to some good stuff for a few minutes. There has been a lot of good stuff happening with the volunteers and everything that Nashville is receiving from the tornadoes. But I want to
Yes.
talk about some good stuff that's going on with you. One, of course, being that how was that for you to have Miss Grand Ole Opry herself, Jeannie Seeley, give you an Opry proposal and
I love that proposal.
and ask you to be the next member. I mean, it took her asking twice before you said yes. So,
I, it's I was so shocked. I was afraid my ears heard something that I had wished for that it really wasn't. You know what I mean?
oh yeah,
It's like, are you serious? Because I looked at her. It's like, are you serious? I'm thinking, did I hear this, or am I dreaming, or I don't know. It's like, okay, wake up. So I was really shocked because in my mind I would, this was never going to happen. So I was, and they didn't tell me, and no one said in advance. She said it was a secret that she had to keep for a few days, and she didn't know. She was so afraid that she would slip. But she called me about singing a song. In fact, I had even posted. She called me about singing a song with the Whites and Connie Smith
right.
doing those memories. And so I went and even tweeted that, hey, she's cooking up a special surprise.
Oh,
Little did I know she really was cooking up a special surprise.
well,
And she said when I posted that, she was afraid that the Opry would think that she told me.
oh,
But I said she's cooking up a special song.
yeah.
No idea.
Well,
No idea.
and she got emotional too, even asking you.
She couldn't. I mean, that's another thing. I couldn't hardly understand. She was just tearing up. And it's like, and when she watched it back, we were at WSM and watching, and she starts tearing up there too. It's like, I love that it's as important to her as it is to me.
Well, because you all have this is not just a professional relationship. You all are friends, um, and it's funny because when I was reading to learn more about you and some of the backstory on, for example, your 2019 chart-topping single "Like I Could," and reading that
Yes.
it's actually co-written by Jeannie, I thought, okay, I think you all must have these moments, and I'm wondering if you play pranks on each other a lot, because when I was reading about that and that she sang it for you in a limo, and you said you wanted to record it, but then she texted you later to say, "Are you sure, or were you just being nice?"
I know, that's so funny. Are you serious? She asked me the same thing. So we have this ongoing issue, I guess, with not believing each other. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, the same thing. She sang it to me, not even thinking that I might record it, and it has become, one of our most requested. I love that song so much. It was a #1 bluegrass song, and I just love it. If I forget to do it, people will yell it out, or a lot of times by the second song, somebody is already yelling, requesting that song. So beautiful song. I'm so thrilled, and that kind of spurred on our friendship. I mean, we were friends before, but this is really, now we talk, not every other day, or quite often anyway.
Right. Well, and the video is beautiful too, and your husband slash
My
manager
husband,
plays
yes,
plays your love interest in there, although he
he's
gets
my
in
real
trouble.
husband. He's also on the TV husband, and hopefully doesn't get in that kind of trouble in real life, though. I
Yeah.
have to watch out. They put him in skinny jeans. He didn't want to do it in the first place. And then when they put him in the skinny jeans, he said he looked really good in them, though. I thought they were great.
He's like, I love you, Rhonda, but I'm never doing that again.
He said, I'm never wearing those again. And the reason I wanted him in the video is because a few months earlier, there's people who take my photo and they make fake accounts with it, and then they are contacting people, telling them I'm getting a divorce and asking
Oh.
them for money. And I had just got a call from the FBI a few months earlier, and had to go in for an interview because a man sent $500,000 thinking he was sending it to me.
No.
So this video, I wanted it to be, to say, look, I am married. I've been married 36 years now, and that's the real reason I wanted him to be in there, to show that I am married, because these people are falling for this. And then it was a couple months later, I'm at a show, and well, we didn't know at that time. The next day, I get a message that said, "You have ruined my life." And
Oh no.
I didn't think anything of it. I didn't know the guy. Never thought anything about it. That Monday, he called my office, or she did. His wife called my office and said that her husband had sent $2,000 for my divorce. That they had said it. I had said that my divorce was final on Thursday. Friday, he left his wife, and Saturday he came to the show to take me home with him.
Oh
So
my goodness.
it's becoming a serious problem. So anyway, I wanted her to be in this video to show, yes, we're married. I'm not getting a divorce, and I would never ask you for money.
Right. And it is very sad that people do fall for that. I have gotten some tweets or messages from some of the artists that I follow, for example, like Eric Church or Mark Chestnut, and and then I replied back and said, Mark Chestnut, it breaks my heart to have to tell you no.
Oh,
Like, I'm sorry, but Eric already contacted me first. But
yeah.
some people don't. Some people do tend to fall for that, and it is awful that happens. So I hate that for you, and especially, I mean, having to go sit at the FBI office cannot be a fun experience.
That was a very unnerving.
Yeah, I'm sure that
Very
it was.
unnerving. But what's more unnerving is not knowing. Here's a wife who thinks that I'm sending her husband naked photos. She said, "Are you sending my?" She keeps sending me messages. It's like, no, I'm not. So they're even photoshopping photos. It scares me that this woman could come to our show or something.
Well, yeah, that does make it very definitely unnerving. I can only imagine that. So that is terrible. So everybody out there, quit doing that.
Yeah, stop it.
Doing that.
Just don't fall for it. I would never. Most artists, they're never going to ask you for money. And I'm married, so not getting a divorce. just beware of all that.
Not getting a divorce, not doing any of that. Stop it.
Yes. Yeah.
You have been doing this. This is not an overnight success, but it has been one since you were 5 years old. Starting with your family, the Sally Mountain Show, playing drums at 5, mandolin at 8, fiddle at 10. I do good to type on my computer. how I assume with it being a family band, it was something the whole family did. But and then moving on to Jim Ed Brown. So, what would you think that 5-year-old, 8-year-old, 10-year-old Rhonda would say now to you as you are getting ready for your induction?
I am so thankful to my parents for, uh, you know, playing after school every day. I have to say that, as I got to be a teenager, because my dad picked me up from school. We played till dinner. After dinner, friends came over, and we would play till bedtime. And that's all, I think everybody's at their house doing the same thing when you're little. You just do
Right.
this because this is what your parents
Right.
want. Then you get to be a teenager and you figure out that Tommy Parsons and Barb Wheeler are at the skating rink and you're still here stuck playing with all the old, grandpa, grandma, mom, and dad and friends. And so it's like, I don't want to, this is not where I want to be now. I want to be at the skating rink. I am so thankful to my parents that we did that and they prepared me, for this life of music that I have and for that moment.
Right. Right. I mean, I can only imagine for that to be. I know what it's like for me, and I'm not a musician, but for me, like I said at the beginning of the call, to be able to talk with you or be able to just to talk with Jeannie and some of the artists, I just am like, I don't know what 13-year-old me would be astonished that I'd be like, no, that's never going to happen.
Okay.
No, it's not. That's the stuff you write in your diary.
Oh, well, right. I mean, I don't think that we would ever think we would attain that. That's not something you think, but it prepared. They are, I think my father had that vision because he always took all of these different opportunities and to play, to sing, whatever it is. It wasn't like a business per se. We once drove to Medford, Oregon, one way. We drove 40 hours out there, played an hour and a half show, and drove 40 hours straight back. It was something, if someone invited us to play, it wasn't a matter of economics. It was a matter of that we have an invitation and this is what we're going to do. It's like, we went to play the nursing home for the folks there once a month,
Right.
like it or not, and
Right.
I'm sure there were some times that, we didn't have the greatest attitude about that, or, me and my brothers, but that's when my dad said, listen, someday you're going to hope somebody does this for you. And that was funerals the same way. If they ask us to play, it's something that we did.
Right.
And because it was, traced back 5 generations of the Vincent family. So it was just a way of life. And so when we listened to the Grand Ole Opry, that was a staple in our house. If we were in the car on a Saturday night, we would go sit in the car to listen to the Grand Ole Opry. That's how important it was. And sometimes when my daughters got older, I mean, when they were like teenagers or little and we're in the car and it was staticking and I'm listening to the opera and they're like, turn that off, Mom. It's just static. And it's like, no, I can still hear them singing. Can't you still hear that? And they didn't want to hear that, but that's how important it was to us to even hear just a hint of a voice through the static was so important, and just visualizing being there in the audience.
Right. Standing in that circle and getting to even to play, above and beyond being in the audience. I want to this your last debut album in 2017 was with the great Daryl Singletary.
Yes.
Doing American Grandstand. Um, out of all the duos that you've done, the duets that you've done, I I have to tell you, in listening to them, this one with Daryl is by far the best.
Oh, thank you.
Your two voices seem like they were just made for each other, and I have I have to point out that my favorite is A Picture of Me Without You.
Oh.
Originally released in '72 with George Jones, then '91 with Lori Morgan, and we kind of always associate that with. I think I always have with Lori after losing Keith, and
Right.
then I know Vern Gosdin did a version in 2007, but I I will stand by this that your version with Daryl is absolutely the best version I've ever heard of that song, and of course it's even more
Oh.
poignant now that he's not here. But how special was that album for you then, but also now?
Well, I realize how the timing, and it's not in our time, but it's in God's time.
Yes.
And there had to be a reason that we did that when we did, because we talked about, I had 7 projects already started. And my husband's like, you know what, you don't need to do another project. We've already got all of these. You need to finish one of these. But it's like, no, for some reason, Daryl called and said, hey, let's do that album. And I'm thinking, I was just had this urgency that we needed to get on with it. So I said, okay. So we immediately started looking for songs, got it recorded. We rolled it out at the CMA Music Fest. Um, just everything that just the timeline on that. There was just somehow God put in my heart a sense of urgency, and I am so thrilled that we got to do it. I love singing with him. I've been very fortunate to sing with some of the greatest singers. But Daryl, our voices just seemed, like you say, it seemed to have a special blend together.
Yeah.
And so that project was so fun to do also, because I didn't really know him. I had seen him, we'd sang around town, but got to know him more. Like we would be working on songs and he'd go, hey, I gotta get home and put on my ham before my kids get out of school. And just
How
something
adorable.
you would never expect, or one day I called him, like he was supposed to come in and sing, because I had my studio. And I said, I called him, where are you and what are you doing? He said, I'm sitting in my truck crying. And I said, why? And he said, because he said, my boys did not want to go to school. He said, they wanted to stay with me. And he said, they were crying and I had to take them in there and make them go to school. And they didn't want to. And so he finally got them into school and was just sitting in his truck crying, because they didn't want to, they wanted to say, Daddy, we want to stay with you. And so just finding what a tender heart that he had, and I think there were some days that he would, when they didn't want to go, he would just take them hunting or go and do something else. And then his wife would find out and say, go, get those boys back in school.
But what great memories they'll have of their dad.
Absolutely. You know what? And that he did. He took a lot of time to spend time with them. So how awesome that is.
Right. That is amazing. I'll wrap it up because I don't want to. I could sit here and talk to you forever, but
Okay.
I'll wrap it up.
No problem.
Now your motto is always be ready for anything.
That's right.
So, and I know they don't reveal the names of who's going to be there on March 24th at your induction, but
Right.
if you could have a dream, I don't want to say cast, but a dream bill, who would it be?
Well, I was looking through the members of the Opry, thinking that very thing. Obviously Dolly would be amazing. Who I thought that you never see anywhere is Barbara Mandrell, and Loretta Lynn. I mean, my dream would be to have all of these people on the stage and just this giant, Opry party with this wonderful Opry family, because I love them all so very much. Ronnie Millsap, it's like,
oh my gosh, yes,
how fun would this be to have all these? And Gene Watson is going to be there, and I think that Jeannie said even if she's not performing, she lives nearby. She says, I will be there. Jeannie Pruitt's going to be there. So it's just beyond all of my wonderful friends that I love, all of these other people that I admire so much. So, and like I say, like you said, I don't know. They haven't even revealed to me who is going to be there. But it could be a cast of people. I love the Osborne brothers, and Bobby Osborne was there the night that she gave me the invitation. So Jesse McReynolds, obviously in the format of Bluegrass. So
right.
There are so many. I would just, I kind of envision, it's like, and they said, see, they invite everyone. Every Opry member is invited.
Oh my goodness.
When they have an induction. So it really could be a wonderful surprise. I am heartbroken because one of my dearest friends from there is Dana Williams from Diamond Rio.
Uh-huh.
He was one of the first to call me, and he said, he said, I've wanted this for you for so long. And he said, congratulations. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you. And he said, it crushes me to tell you that Diamond Rio is working out in, I don't know where, out west on a Tuesday. He said, we haven't worked. Normally they don't work during the week. He said, rarely ever on a Tuesday night. And he said, we are going to be working on that Tuesday and I cannot be there. So I know. And Mark Wills called me the same thing. He goes, I would love to be there. He's singing somewhere too. So my wish would be that, all of these Opry people all these Opry friends, and now, you know what? I've never said this, Opry family will be there.
Well,
great family.
and I hope that I think we're going to try to make it down too. So I hope that we can, because
that'd be wonderful.
the only other induction we've been to is when Mark Wills was inducted. That was actually the first time I ever went to the Opry. So it would be really cool to come back and to watch your induction as well, and be part of that with you all. But Rhonda, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And
it's my pleasure. I'll hope to see you then.
Yeah, and I did look up. I saw when you were in Vegas, and I did look up whether Carrot Top sings or not.
Really? Does he sing?
Well, there are some videos of him singing in the shower. I think.
No, there's not. You got to send me the link.
Okay, I will do that. I will send it to you, and when you all do the song, we want the exclusive.
Okay, you got it.
Thank you, Rhonda. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Blessings. Bye.
Bye-bye.